Hey, what's up, honeymooners? We have so much cool merch. We have hoodies,
There are shirts,
tote bags,
phone cases,
dog sweaters,
board shorts,
toothbrushes,
towels.
kimonos.
It's called a robe, Natasha.
Check it out at endlesshoneymoonpod.com/shop.
Merch it up.
Welcome to the Endless Honeymoon Podcast.
Poodcast? What are you taking, comedy tips from our 4-year-old?
Oh my God, she will not stop saying poop. And like,
Tell
why
him the
does she
full run.
think it's so funny?
Tell him the full run the other day.
She's like,
We
poo
went-
poo, poo poo, poo
No,
poo.
Natasha went to go pick her up at
That was embarrassing.
school the other day, and she had wrangled another kid into the poo community, and they were like going back and forth doing poo
But
poo
this
jokes.
kid was younger than her, and she kind of taught him, and then she's like, diarrhea, diarrhea.
No, hold on. And then the teacher was like begging her to stop, and Natasha was
This
begging
is
her
when
to
I was
stop.
picking her up.
And she heard Natasha begging her to stop, and this is the run she went on.
Oh, well, she's gone on a lot of
It was
poo runs.
What you told me was...
She told me, she's like, I want to go
she goes,
deep into the toilet.
It goes, poo-poo, please don't do that. Diarrhea, please don't do that.
No, you're missing a step.
Yeah?
After that, before you get to the main one, she started calling me blowout. And I was like, blowout? She's like, yeah, diaper blowout.
That you do smell like a diaper blowout. And that's my fault, because I've told her that, like when I put
It's
her to
all
bed.
variations on a theme. I can tell that she knows poo-poo can get a little old.
Yeah, poo-poo can get a little old, but diarrhea is forever. So she goes, poo-poo, she goes, diaper blowout, poo-poo, diarrhea, please stop. And then she goes, I want to flush myself down the toilet to see where the poop lives. And
That's
I
what
thought,
she said, yeah.
to me, that was very powerful. Those were powerful words.
But she didn't just say that to me. She screamed it outside of her school, which was kind of embarrassing.
Hey, speaking of embarrassing, we got a lot of feedback.
Oh, wait, hold on. Before we get to that.
Yeah.
Speaking of embarrassing, I have to talk to you about something.
Oh, what's up?
Well, only one of us can wear these glasses.
What do you mean these glasses? They're two different glasses.
Well, I kind of like had this in mind for like, I've been wearing these glasses for like since we met. And this
What?
is like my look.
That's
and
your look?
Now it looks like especially like that.
Yeah.
This was my plan for like how to still look really hot after 40 is to always wear like glasses.
Cover your eyes.
With like a very pale,
Uh-huh.
like light, a very pale, so you can still see out of it,
Yeah.
indoor, outdoor glasses.
Okay.
And these are Yves Saint Laurent, which I bought with you at a thrift store in Paris
Okay.
15 years ago or 10 years ago.
Okay.
So I just feel like you can't also wear them
Why-
on our podcast.
Why is it even... Well, first of all, it's an odd choice to wait for the podcast to have this confrontation.
Well, I just realized looking in the thing that we're both wearing colored glasses.
But second of all...
indoors.
Well, we don't call them colored anymore. But second of all, why can't we both wear them? They're different.
Well, because we're both going on the assumption that we can wear very, very light sunglasses indoors.
It's not...
I think only one person in a relationship can decide they're doing that. They
What if-
can't both do that.
But why do you get it?
Because I already started it.
Because it
I
was...
did it first.
Because it was your plan of how to beat the aging process that you never told me about until this moment.
Okay, if you're watching on YouTube, please sign in and please give us a little comment. And
comment what?
Tell us who looks better.
No. That's not
in
even
the
the
glasses.
debate.
Who gets
No,
to keep them?
That's not the debate. The debate isn't who's rocking it harder. I mean,
or how is the debate who rocked it first?
no, there is no the debate right now.
The debate is you could copy me whenever you want.
I'm not copying you. What, you think you invented sunglasses? What are you, Serpico?
No, but I'm just saying I'm
What are you,
wearing
Magnum PI?
I'm
over here?
wearing like, it's already a swing
Yeah.
to be wearing your sunglasses indoors, and I'm just pulling it off. But if you do it too,
It becomes an absurdity.
it becomes
You
like
want me to
silly.
You want me to go get my glasses from the car, my clear
No,
glasses?
I'll give you a
I'll do it right now.
I appreciate
what?
that. No. Keep them on if you want, Moshe.
Keep talking. You better keep vamping.
Well, I mean, I would totally give you this if you want. But, if you're that... Now I made him insecure, I think. I mean, maybe he looks better in them. I don't know. I kind of doubt it. But if you watched any of that from the first 5 minutes, let me know what you think. Because, I don't know, I just had this idea that these glasses would really take me through like 70. And then I'll probably need to have an eye patch or something. But, at least till then, I'm going to look pretty good.
Hope you're fucking happy.
Oh, that does look better on you.
No, it's fine. I just will be over here slumming it with these E.B. Meyerowitz glasses that I found in a small shop in London that's been making hand-molded glasses since the Dickensian age. You go ahead. You go ahead and take the sun. When I get cataracts, when I'm 63, because of exposure to sun and to the lights that we need in order to record this podcast, you fucking remember this conversation, how you decided that I couldn't wear these anymore.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yeah?
How do you think Elton John would feel if his partner also...
Bernie Taupin?
No, his love partner, whoever he married and had a baby with, if he always wore like crazy star sunglasses too. And they both had them like made, and like one day, one was wearing the stars, the other one's wearing the mirrored disco hearts.
Okay,
you know?
first of all, everything
They'd
about
be
this,
like too wacky.
everything about this question is offensive. You're the Elton John in the relationship, and I'm the nameless man that named Elton John.
Yeah, he got Elton.
Yeah.
He must be cute.
I would take Elton.
Well, I'm Elton, and this is my
You don't feel
scenario.
like an Elton to me.
Oh, really?
Nah.
Okay, well.
No, you don't, to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you. You don't have perfect pitch. You can't write a song. And Elton John, I've met him.
I'm more like a muse for Elton. Like I'm like a candle in the wind.
I've met Elton John.
Yeah.
And guess what he doesn't smell like?
What?
A diaper blowout. So you, my friend, are no Elton John. All right. We have collated a number of responses.
This is too many. We are not reading all these.
Well, let's see what happens. You know, we've got
Honey.
we got a spirited response about the tipping conversation. Now, let me just say, a lot of the times, it's the answer based on the feedback from the people is fairly clear who's in the right, and it's usually I'll say it. It's usually you.
This one's confusing.
This one, people are all over the map about, but their emotions are fucking hypercharged. Hypercharged. You gotta be able. I got a message on Instagram. Somebody said that hearing our conversation about tipping was a major shock to her system and hurt her heart. I'm like, you gotta be able. You gotta be able to hear a conversation between two people that you like their podcast and that they don't have exactly the same amount of information about the topic and don't have the exact same opinion as you without your psyche being shattered. I mean, what we must be tougher than that. It's not my heart was hurt. It's, hey, you're a dummy. Change your perspective.
You would have been offended by that too.
Yeah, maybe, but
You're
at
the
least
queen at telling people how to talk back to
you're
you.
the queen of writing songs about men in rockets and bricks that are made of yellow or that are yellow made of brick. Anyway, the point is, there's this thing that happens on the internet these days.
True.
And I think it's because people have decided, because they all have their own profile and their own account, they think that their own conclusion that they've arrived at is this patently obvious thing that everybody, everybody should know about how much money independent spa contractors got versus the med spa industry, and ergo you should be no one knows what you know. People are just stabbing in the dark trying to make opinion. No one if I'd come out and said, here's the thing, I don't believe that people in the service industry should be paid. Okay, yeah, piece of shit. But
listen, she had a reaction because she probably lost a lot of money in the pandemic. Okay?
Well,
and it reminds
sorry.
her of a happier time. But let's just read it. Maybe we can school ourselves
All
and
right.
figure it out. Okay, here's one. Hi, guys. I have strong opinions on tipping and wanted to throw in my 2 cents, which is not a good tip, by the way. I worked as a server through high school and college. Now I always tip 20% when I eat. Takeout, I tip 5 to 10%. When you're talking 5%, just don't do that.
Wait, what?
In my opinion. I
Take
think,
out 5%? I don't do that shit.
You don't?
No, I always tip 15%
No, I guess
on takeout.
15%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think 5% is a little low. When it comes to an in-home massage, I agree with Moshe in bold. If the person tells me they charge $100, then that's what I pay. When I go to a spa for a massage, I'll tip 20%. When I go to a barbershop, I tip 20%. That also makes sense.
Can I just say I don't love that the first guy that's vociferously defending me is also a guy that tips 5% on
know,
takeout.
honey, I'm sorry. I was about to say that.
This isn't the ally I want in my
No.
community.
But since the pandemic started, my barber cuts my hair in her garage, and I pay her the exact amount she asked me to. I don't tip her because she's keeping 100% of the money. That's true. A lot of these hairdressers, they get 30 to 50% of what they're making. And she makes more off my haircut than she did when she worked the chair. So no need for me to tip on top of that too. I totally agree with that. I have someone who comes and does my makeup sometimes, and we have an arrangement.
And do you tip them?
No, but I already...
Whoa. You don't?
We have an arrangement.
That you don't tip them?
Yeah, that it's like
You talked about it.
Yeah, it's like exactly.
You discussed it openly.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes? I can hear lying in your voice.
No, she.
No, there it was. I heard it. Did you hear it? It went up. The octave was the lie octave.
She comes twice a week.
But you have had a conversation where she said, you don't need to tip me, just pay me my rate.
Yes, she has said that. Yes, she has 100% said that.
Okay.
Same applies to the massage. I don't understand why we need to tip on top. This is him. To tip on top of the rate they ask for. If they want to be paid more, then just charge more. They don't have to share it with anyone else. That is a very, very good point. That's the problem. I
got a lot of these. Moshe is absolutely wrong about tipping any service where someone is manually performing a service, hair, massage, nails, facials, waxing, driving, food service, etc. You tip. It doesn't matter if they are self-employed or a friend. It is hilarious listening to Moshe try to outlogic Natasha on this while he realizes he is so wrong. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. I have never realized I was wrong about any topic in my life ever. So if you think you're reading the tea leaves and you're like, oh, here he is thinking he's wrong, I'd never come to the conclusion I am wrong on any conversation about any topic ever. I am not ever wrong about anything. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, fuckface. Okay.
Oh, and this letter ends. Moshe made a great point about plumbers and handymen. I think we don't tip them because we know deep down they're kind of ripping us off.
I think that's totally true. And somebody in your Instagram comments was saying, I agree with Natasha with one big exception. I tip the plumber and handyman too. And I said to her, I wrote, so if you had a $20,000 plumbing job, you would tip them $2,000. And she said yes, and I do not believe it. I don't believe that is true.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Would anybody out there?
No, that's not that. It's not. It's also about acceptable norms. What are we used to? What do we do? And I think now there's a new normal. I coined that.
That's really good. Wow. Whoa. This what we're living through is the new normal.
Now maybe people don't know anymore because. Granted, people are working for themselves more now, but people need tips more than ever.
Here's another one. This says, only someone who has never had a service industry job would say the things that Moshe says. That isn't true. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not convinced that I'm right, by the way, on this topic. Earlier, I was joking. I kept waiting for Laura or you to laugh. Me saying I've never realized I was wrong about anything. No laughs came, which made me think perhaps you think that that's literally true about me. And that hurt in a deep core way. And it hurt my heart, honestly. And I felt shattered. I felt shattered to hear that lack of laughter. And emotionally, I collapsed. Okay, but anyway, a lot of people in the comments saying this thing. Only someone who's never had a service industry job would say the things Moshe says. Lots of people in the comments are like, I have a service industry job and I agree with Moshe. So this whole idea that because you've come to a conclusion, it is the de facto obvious conclusion that all thinking people ought to have come to, that is so dumb and arrogant. People are all learning. We are all learning. And right now, I will say, based on the responses we've gotten to the tipping conversation, I have learned nothing.
Okay.
Because it's all over the map.
I have a take before you keep reading.
Yeah?
Because I do think it does make sense what everyone's saying about if they work for themselves, don't tip them. But what if you have money? You have more money than them. Maybe you should tip. Because why not?
But is that why you tip? You tip because you have more money than someone?
Well, if you have extra money and you can afford to do it, why not do it on top of not plumbing, but like a massage therapist?
But that doesn't work. What if you go in and you get your hair cut by hairstylist to the stars, Vidal Sassoon himself, right? Mm-hmm. We have a norm that says you tip your hairstylist. According to a lot of these comments, doesn't matter if they're the owner or not, but Vidal Sassoon
definitely wants your tip.
He's got more money than you.
Oh, that's a good point.
Wait, yeah. I might have made a point against myself at this point. It might track with what you're saying.
I know what you're saying, because then it's like, oh wait, so you make less. You have to always like look up someone's net worth.
Right. The plumber coming over to you might make more money than you do, and plumbers aren't poor.
No, plumbers make good money.
Plumbers are straight up clean. Plumbers are billionaires. They're straight up. They are billionaires. I don't know if you know this Mario guy, and Mario and he's got this brother Luigi. They've got a $3 billion franchise just based around their adventures, going after King Koopa and Princess Buttercup, or not Buttercup. What's her name? Princess Toadstool. Princess Buttercup is from The Princess Bride. Okay.
See if there's any more things that could. I just want my mind to change. I just don't want to hear you ranting against people.
Well, I like this. It goes, by the way, I'm driving as I create this message. That's how fired up I am. I am literally willing to die on this hill. Now, respect to that. Respect to the person who is abrogating a known social contract, which is don't write angry and long emails while driving because it's dangerous, to lecture me about another social contract, which clearly does not have unanimity, which is always tip people, including when they are the owner of the business. Okay. Let's see here. I'm a house call groomer and I work for myself. I subconsciously rely on tips. My prices would definitely increase if tips weren't the norm. That's interesting. I owe a butt ton of taxes, and I think there's a subconscious societal expectation to tip people you see regularly or that touch your person. I think that's kind of interesting. If they touch
a plumber
you,
doesn't touch you.
If they touch you, you pay them. That's kind of interesting idea. If they touch you, you pay them. For regular service, when you tip, you're put up. Okay. All right, here we go.
Can I read one?
Yeah.
Hi, Natasha, Moshe, and Laura. That's our producer. Anonymous listener here. Love the podcast and you guys. Okay, we know that. Replying to the tipping poll. I agree with Natasha.
You love that. It was bolded,
tip the
too.
owner as well. Maybe you could get away with less if they're charging you under the table when they're coming into your house and they're a friend, etc. But I think that even depends if they're charging it as a client spot and charging with a card, reporting earnings, or if they're doing it on the side and you're paying cash. That's kind of what I have with my makeup person.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with Natasha that if they have overhead as the owner of a hair salon or massage parlor, they have a lot more cost, plus have to pay their employees, hopefully a good wage.
No.
So should still be tipped for their service.
No, everybody's misunderstanding the circumstance here. This isn't a person that owns a spa and has employees. This is a person who is the owner of the massage therapy entity that is them.
Okay, well, here's how she ends her letter. Owning a small business takes a ton of hard work and risk, and they're kind of putting it all out there in hopes to run a thriving business and do something they love. I think that's admirable and scary. Opening a business takes balls and confidence. So you should pay them.
Wait, what do you mean? I run a small business. My comedy career I'm a self-employed comedy person. Should people tip me? Although I will say I have been tipped. Have you ever gotten a tip at a comedy club? It's very funny.
No.
It's always some guy on a date with somebody that he's trying to show off to, and he comes up to you after the show and he'll like give you $100 bill and be like, "Great job tonight."
Oh, I've had that when I used to sell merch.
Yeah, well, with merch, but sometimes I've just been tipped because the show was good, which I always think is such a funny flex and so crass, but I always take the money. I'm always like, "Thank you very much." Okay, here we go. Hi, Moshe, Natasha, and Laura. Laura's getting a lot of love on this one, and as the owner of a small business, which she is, which is this podcasting industry.
Sorry, our dog Pablo has started biting me when I tried to pet him very lightly. So he also bit my toe the other night while we were sleeping, Moshe.
Yeah, he's...
and our daughter comes into our bed every night and wants to sleep there, and there's a biting dog. I mean, what? Can we just give him away, please?
No, who
what
would
if a
take
listener
him?
would take him?
With an advertisement like that, who would take him? He'll
Some
bite you.
poor soul who's bored.
He'll bite you when you pet him. He'll bite you while you sleep.
He has like a growth on his eye.
He's
that's
got a
about
growth
to
on his
pop,
eye.
and you can't put him under because he has
He's got
a heart murmur.
And
then,
he's got a chronic cough.
And whenever you pick him up, you can't help but have his wet wiener
wieners.
wipe against your
wiener wipe
hand.
If anybody out there would like a dog like that, by the way, Natasha, if you'd like to
Andy has fleas.
If you want to get into the social contract, maybe you could get lectured a little bit. Why don't we talk about getting rid of an elderly dog that you adopted early on as it gets to have health problems?
I would love to do that because I actually feel in my bones it might be a solution to getting rid of him.
No,
maybe he could get into the arms of some other.
He's going to get into the arms
what are
of
they called? Like a mark.
Oh, some mark that you hustled?
Like you. Moshe went to the pound in Oakland and there was this dog that was about to get euthanized the next day, i.e. nobody wants him because that's how annoying he is. Moshe's like, I'll take him. And he's been like ruining our lives for 10 years.
I find him lovely. I love him. And
you do not. He barks incessantly.
What if our child develops a growth on her eye? Would you get rid of her?
No, because she's not a dog. I would love her regardless. But the thing about him is now he's a danger to our child that I love more than this dog.
Okay, so here we go. Moshe and Natasha, I've lived in the U.S. for 5 years and tipping culture has always made me mad. Okay, listen. I know that this person is going to be making a lot of sense because they're from another country, but I also don't want people from other countries on my team because those people don't have a context for
you want
American
like a bunch
tipping
of German tourists.
Yeah, it's like, well, we tip only 2%. It's like, yeah,
when
okay, great.
When I waitressed, it was always the Germans who just didn't tip.
Yeah.
And if a group of like buffling German tourists came in, nobody would wait on them.
I heard this a lot, and I think it's actually a bad point, even though it supports me, which is the tip in the U.S. is supposed to cover the wages of underpaid service workers, which is a fucked up system, and I don't want to participate in that and encourage. This is a terrible point.
Yeah.
Of course that's the truth, but you don't look at an unfair situation where society has come up with a solution and go,
Totally.
I would love to tip 20% on this meal, but I just can't, in good conscience, enter into a system that is based on a fundamental inequality that the government should be funding. Well, meanwhile, your server at the fucking Denny's is like, bitch, give me my 20%. Okay. The point about plumbers, excellent. It's a service as any others. This is something that new businesses and business owners must make their thing and talk about it openly. Enough tip guessing. Now that I really agree with. Okay, if you are the owner of how about we talk about it then? Hey, my rate is $100 for the massage, but tipping is a big part of my income. It really helps. People do that. Why do they tell you about tips when you go on a tour? You know, the tour guide will always say, tipping really helps out. You know, when we go to the Hinterland in Germany, at the end of the trip, it's nice to get a nice trip. You know, I like that. I don't want to be guessing, are you a tip person? Is it 12% for your industry? I don't fucking know anything.
What do you think when you go to like a fancy coffee shop and then they swivel the little thing around at you and you've just bought coffee? You've stood in line to get coffee and then they give you all the little places and one of them's like 25%. Like you're supposed to, and then sometimes I'll buy stuff at the coffee shop. Like they'll have like soap and a hand towel. And then it's like, okay, am I supposed to tip 25%? Because I don't want to be
goods?
an asshole. Right, on goods and services.
Yeah, I think that whole flip the thing around on you, it's annoying, but it's very effective. Because
I know, because you get, and then everyone sees you behind you.
Totally.
So you don't want to be cheap, and it's so easy.
I used to be a dollar in the bucket guy.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I'll always do at least 15% at a coffee shop just because it's there. I'm not gonna do 10%. It just feels like wrong to do the lowest. One time, I think it was Sarah Silverman. She told me, don't ever do the lowest amount. When like an Uber Eats or Uber, when it pops up, don't ever go for the exact last button. At least go for one button above. Just because, like, you never want to be always doing the low. Our producer's giving us a grimace. It looks like you're a last button pusher. Last button pusher. Are you a last button pusher?
You mean the cheapest Uber?
It pops up your tip for the Uber and it goes 10%, 15%, 25%, blah, blah, blah. Never be the person that every time does the lowest amount
just
available.
Always do 20. That's what I've been talking
At
about
any rate.
all of this time. Wait, one more thing. When I worked at I was in London and I went to a pub. And I remember I tipped and I was walking out and the bartender started chasing after me that I left that money on the table.
In London.
Yes.
Right. They don't even like it.
No.
Yeah. Hi, Moshe and Natasha. I'm a massage therapist, and my opinion is whether someone is an employee, independent contractor, or sole proprietor, tipping is standard. Okay. I understand where Moshe is coming from, but I practice as an employee and always tip $10 per half hour of massage performed. Now that is really clear information.
But not if because if your massage is $400, that's bad information, or $300.
Wait, you're supposed to tip more if it's more expensive?
20%
That's
of
ridiculous.
what it costs.
That's ridiculous.
Well, then
that's fucking ridiculous.
What? 20%?
Absolutely, that's ridiculous.
You think 20% is ridiculous?
No, I think it's ridiculous that for you to say, if I go to a massage at a Four Seasons where everyone's getting paid more, I should tip more money also. My tip should be bigger as well.
Of course it should be.
Why? You should tip. That doesn't make sense.
You tip a percentage.
That doesn't make any sense. You go to a Thai massage parlor, right?
Yeah.
And you get a $70 massage, right? You're saying that person deserves less money in the tip than a person for when you go to the Beverly Hills Hotel and you get a $350 massage?
I'm not saying they deserve less. I'm saying that is what you should do.
Why?
I don't know. That's just what you do.
Well, interrogate that feeling.
What are you talking about? Why don't you tip the person bringing you one cheeseburger at Burgers Never Say Die? Why are you tipping the guy at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse more?
Dude,
You think the hamburger deliverer deserves less?
It's so funny to watch you try to out-logic me as you realize that you're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
No, I know. I'm just quoting that other guy. That's a good point you're making, and
Thank you.
And I do eat at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse every night.
I don't know. I'm just
I do. I eat a $280 steak meal every night, and my blood pressure is fucking. It's a 1,000. Okay, but I like this rule. $10 per half hour of massage performed, regardless of who's doing the massage or my own perception of the quality of their work. Now, that's interesting. If you get a terrible massage, you should tip that person as much as a wonderful massage. I don't know. This doesn't feel like anyone really knows. And I think, and we should move on to a call. I think this is what it really comes down to, because this is all over the map. I got tons of people saying, I'm a small business owner. I don't expect tips. I'm a massage therapist. I don't expect tips. I saw a lot of this stuff, right? I disagreed with Natasha about plumbing, tipping plumbers and maintenance people. I try to throw anyone a few bucks.
Wait, hold on. Just so you know, you're reading now. That sounds like this is your thoughts.
Oh, no. Oh, sorry. Yeah, just so you guys know. People say, basically, if you come on my porch, you're getting a tip. You tip, okay, the plumber is charging you $800, so don't tip. At the end of the day, I set my pricing in line with others to avoid never getting a scheduling call. Tipping is a tough one. Here's what I imagine. You book a massage at a spa for $50, where the proprietors likely pay a booth rent or something similar. Then you're later setting up for the mobile massage, and the quoted price is $80 to $100 for a comparable massage style and length with a sole practitioner. Is the added cost built-in gratuity, or is that cost the time and effort of traveling to each appointment? So in my mind, my point of it all is, and I think I will probably just start tipping
20%.
I'm not.
If you can afford it, on top of anyone who touches your face.
Let me just finish my point.
Or brings you food.
I think what it really comes down to is the reason there's so much confusion about this, including my own, is that tipping is mysterious. It doesn't actually have a direct lot. Like, I understand that you have a rule, but your rule isn't universal. In general, people have this like bizarre guessing game.
No, they don't. Yes, everyone gives 20% for dinner, for lunch. You're
incorrect. You're wrong about this one. People have all different tipping rules. Tip your bartender, you tip your bartender $1 per drink, unless you leave your tab open, in which case you do 20%. Your server at a restaurant,
$1 a drink. What are you like, my
$2?
dad?
Okay, $2 a drink, whatever.
It's not like that anymore.
What is it like?
20%.
Look it up on the internet. You think I'm not just making this stuff up. This is real. You tip your taxi cab driver one amount. You tip your.
What if it's a $27 glass of wine? Should you tip them $1?
It's not a universal piece of logic that the amount you tip is based on the amount you paid. That's not true.
It solves an annoying, mysterious problem.
I understand that is...
If you can afford it.
I understand that is your system. Okay. I'm just saying it's not a universally accepted system. And I think that the reason people are so confused about it is that tipping is a mystery. It's like there's different rules for different professions. There's different amounts for different meals. There's different... Which is why I would like to say... I'll tip this fucking massage therapist. I think if you're a sole proprietor, you should set rates that are, if you are able to do it competitively, set rates and I would prefer a more expensive massage where I don't have to guess about how much I'm supposed to give you. Hey, what's your rate? My rate is $130 and you don't need to tip me.
If you would prefer a more expensive massage, just tip them an extra 20%.
No, you're not hearing what I'm saying.
And then they'll be happy. And then they prioritize you. Next time you need a massage, they're like, I'm going to go to the person that tips.
You're being belligerent, abusive, and you're hurting my heart.
Can I tell you one more thing?
Yes.
You also tip like drivers, like people drive you to the airport, because I gave you...
You tip them 20%?
Yes, and
No, you don't. You do not. Just so you guys know, Natasha's lying to you.
Wait, hold on.
You do not tip them 20%.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. No, you don't. I've seen you do it. I've seen you in action.
Okay, well, I'll just tell you my story, is that I had this guy, and he drove me to the airport, and he told me how much, and then I must have paid him that much, and I know you paid him that much, and then the next time I called him, texted him, he said, he gave me a price, and then he said, plus tip.
There you go. What does that have to do with anything?
He expects 20% tip.
Wait, did you not tip him the first time?
Oh, he said plus 20% tip. Yeah, I just paid the amount he said to like pick me up at the airport.
So you didn't tip him and he said, I expect a tip.
Yes.
I think that's outrageous. How about just fucking raise your fucking rates? If you say I expect a 20% tip, the ride does not cost the amount it costs. It costs that amount plus 20%.
I know.
You know?
I mean, I hear you.
But you don't tip 20% on all drivers. I've seen you do it. You give them like $10 extra or whatever extra amount you have in your pocket, or 20 if that's how much you have. I mean, there's no uniformity to it. And what about people that...
Oh, he also does this.
Don't make fun of my dog. He's having a hard time. Tosh, that's not funny.
No, I'm trying to give him away. If someone should know everything about him.
He's probably towards the end of his life. By the way.
No, he's not.
By the way,
He's got a good 7 years.
We've gone to the vet. Tosh, stop. We've gone to the vet. We know what's wrong with him. So no angry emails about care for the dog. I mean, the point is, okay, I tip. We should probably move on, huh? Okay, listen. I just think it's muddy and it's confusing and it hurts my heart, the kind of abuse that I've gotten from you guys. But I will tip the massage therapist next time. If
she comes, she's probably going to want to only come to the people who tip her.
Yeah, I think what people didn't realize is that this particular massage therapist lives next door. This is not a person that's packing up their stuff and getting in a car to commute to us. This is a person
exactly
that's
the reason you want to keep your neighbors happy.
They're little. Stop it, Natasha. Stop. People are trying to listen to the podcast. They're annoyed enough.
I want them to know what I have to live with.
They're annoyed enough at me and my tipping rules. All right, fine. Natasha, take it away. Hey, Tosh.
Yeah, Moshe.
You know what I don't love?
What?
When you got something wrong with you and you know what it is, but you got to call a freaking primary care doctor to get referred to another doctor.
Annoying.
And you got to deal with their scheduling, blah, blah, blah. I took all of that out of my life by going to ZocDoc.
ZocDoc is a free app that shows you doctors who are patient-reviewed, take your insurance, and are available when you need them. And by the way, as a longtime user and lover of ZocDoc, also doctors that are close by. You don't have to drive across town. You can find ones in your neighborhood who are highly reviewed. Read those reviews. See a picture of the doctor. Make sure you like their vibe. Maybe you want a woman. Maybe you want 5 stars only.
Maybe you want somebody with cornrows. I mean, they will get you to the doctor that you need. And it makes it so easy. And a lot of them have same-day appointments. So you can look this stuff up and go that day or the next day. I love it. I use it. Go to ZocDoc.com/honeymoon and download the ZocDoc app for free.
That's ZocDoc.com/honeymoon. ZocDoc.com/honeymoon.
Start your search for a top-rated doctor today, and many are available within 24 hours. ZocDoc.com/honeymoon. Hey, Tosh.
Yeah, Moshe?
You know, I was thinking about therapy recently. It's like this kind of thing. Why would you wait more time to get your life into a better place? If you are in any shape where you think that you could use a little bit of help, get the help now. What good is help going to do you in 6 months? Go to Talkspace, find a therapist, and start talking today.
Using Talkspace feels a little like having a mental health professional in your pocket. You could just pick up your phone, sit in your car, have a little privacy, and talk to them about your life. Talkspace offers both therapy and psychiatry, and being able to reach out to your provider at any time, anywhere makes taking care of your mental health super easy.
Why wait? There's no reason to wait. They've got thousands of licensed therapists with years of experience in over 40 specialties, including depression, anxiety, substance abuse, trauma, anger management, relationship issues, food and eating, and so much more.
I wholeheartedly recommend Talkspace for therapy. You can sign up online to get a personalized match with a provider that's right for you, typically within 48 hours. You can text, video, or send voice messages to your licensed therapist, so it's incredibly convenient to have virtual sessions from the comfort of your home or car, where I do mine.
And as a listener of this podcast, you'll get $100 off your first month with Talkspace. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com and make sure to use the code HONEYMOON to get $100 off your first month and show your support for the show.
That's honeymoon and Talkspace.com.
Okay, we're going
to call Ari in New York, of which I know 2 Aris in New York. So let's see if it's one of them. Oh my God, I hope it's not one of them I know.
Let's see.
It'd be fun though.
Hey guys.
Hey Ari, how's it going?
It's going good. I'm so glad to be here. I brought my Natasha glasses.
Moshe, this is exactly what I'm saying. She thinks of these glasses as me.
But why aren't you threatened by her wearing them?
Because she's not in a podcast with me, and I'm
she
not
is
threatened.
in a podcast with you. That's literally what she's doing.
She's not my co-host.
No, but she's here. We're all sunglasses people right now.
She's a fan.
Oh, forget it. Ari,
Wait.
I get no love.
Natasha, wearing them gives you guys such a power couple vibe. You guys are just elevating every episode, elevating.
Ari, I told him at the top of this podcast that we both can't wear the glasses because it looks stupid. But like me alone, I just makes me look cool and special.
Ari,
no, it looks like you are on an app looking for a third. Like you guys are just hot.
Which we are.
To go.
Which we definitely are. All right, Ari.
Wait, is that a thing? We could go together looking for one? We couldn't though.
Of course we could.
Oh my my gosh.
Oh, have I told you about? Oh, because you're saying because we're in the public eye.
Well, I just like that would backfire so fast.
Oh, because people would screenshot it and put it out or something like that.
Yeah.
Have I told you about my idea, Ari? Do you know? Have I told you about this on the podcast? Maybe I have. Ari, are you familiar with Raya, the dating app?
Yeah.
You know what it is basically.
Yeah, it's subscription based.
Yeah, but it's. Have I talked about this on the podcast before? I have this great idea, which is originally Raya was started for people in the entertainment industry, but then they quickly realized that they couldn't sustain a business model with just like actors and comedians and DJs and stuff. So they started opening it up to like photographers and set designers, anybody that was like hot enough, right? So I've got this idea, which is Raya Prime. Have I told you about this? Oh, forget it.
Okay, so Ari, what is your question?
Okay, so okay, I know everybody does this, but I do want to say you guys did get me through the pandemic.
Hell yeah.
And like, love you guys. You're the soundtrack to 2 years. So I just wanted to say that. My question is basically, when I was 22, I started a relationship with somebody who was like my first great love. And we were on again, off again. We broke up 3 times over the course of 2 years. And it was very like cinematic, Parisian, cigarettes in the bathtub. She's a photographer, like
yellow sunglasses kind of a thing going on. Yeah.
Vintage shopping, ennui, crying on face. Like it was.
Sounds like 24 years old.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. And I ended it when I was 24. Exactly. It ended when I was 24. And then I moved back. So I live in Tel Aviv, and I moved back to the States to do a PhD in 2019.
You're dropping just, I would say, a lot of intrigue in one advice question. I had a tumultuous Sid and Nancy gay affair in a bathtub, and I lived in Tel Aviv
and Paris,
and I'm getting my PhD.
Good for her.
Absolutely, you seem like the coolest person in the world.
Goodness, thank you. So basically, she like wrote a letter to me after we had broken up, proposing to me, and in the letter, and saying she wanted to still be with me even though I was moving to Michigan.
Okay,
and
you've downgraded a bit. Michigan was we really took a step down.
Paris, Tel
Aviv,
New York, PhD, Michigan.
Yeah, I'm back in Tel Aviv, so I'm back in the upgrade. But I basically, this was like 3.5 years ago in 2019. I cut it off, and it was like a very codependent. You get it, a very codependent relationship.
Right.
And I completely cut it off, and basically said, I can't. Like, this is just too much, and it's the only person I've ever really like cold turkey. Just And ever since then, for the past 3.5 years, I get text messages. She's blocked on Instagram, but she's a photographer. So through her art profile, she can find me on stories and messages me. And basically every 4 to 6 months, it was more frequent at the beginning, she'll message me and say what went wrong, and I hope you're good, and like kind of fishing. And the most recent time was just a few weeks ago, which is why I wrote in, because I basically don't know how to approach the situation. On the one hand, I've really, really moved on. She's really not my match, and I will always have like deep love for her because she was like my first great love. And I'm back in Tel Aviv, and I've seen like 80% of anybody I've ever slept with or been in a relationship with, and I haven't run into her yet. But I feel like it's inevitable that at some point the lesbian scene, until it's very small, and at some point I will see her. And my question is, should I keep avoiding it and continuing with my cold turkey, no engagement approach, or should I face the past head on, even though it's against my better instincts?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why'd you block her? Is it because she's unhealthy for you?
That, and it was just like I needed to not get messages from her, and I needed her to not be watching my stories, and I needed her, like, she's not a bad person, she's a really good person, but she's also like immature, and she was closeted, and that's not why I blocked her, because but it was just like not it wasn't the energy that I needed when I was
This is easy.
What is it? What's the answer?
This is easy.
Because my instinct is to just ignore.
Of course, that's correct. Just ignore. And when you do run into her and she comes up to you and she's like, Ari, oh, it's me.
And she probably won't do that. She'll probably snub you if you
No,
don't write
she
her back.
won't. She will. She'll walk right up to her, and because the whole thing about the kind of relationship you're describing is that it's drugs. It's just drugs. Those kinds of relationships are just drugs. They're just these like destructive dances where even though it's killing you, it feels so intense that you're like, oh, it's nothing is as real as this. And in reality, with drugs feel like that too. When you're an addict, you're just like, oh, I know it's destroying me, but nothing makes me feel alive. Like when I shoot heroin, and it's like you don't need to write a heroin back. Not that I'm not saying I'm not saying that this person's like bad, but she's bad for you. This is she's not heroin. This relationship is heroin. There's nothing, if you really moved on, and I've had relationships like this too, where it's like I love the sickness because it makes me feel so alive, and so I will keep kind of writing back. Or there's a part of it that I like that she's still writing me. I like that it's crazy. She can't get over me. She's obsessed. But then when I actually moved on, I'm like, oh, that's a person who just, she doesn't fit in my life. Why would I write her back? I would never write her back. That's crazy. So when
she sees her at the lesbian club, can she, if she comes up to her, you're just like, hey, how's it going? Nice to see you.
Why didn't you write me back? Oh, I didn't get any of your messages. Anyway, it's great to see you. I hope you're really well. And you just leave. It's like, that's what an adult would do. I'm not saying you're not an adult. You're obviously brilliant. You're getting a PhD in, I don't know, Middle Eastern studies or queer theory or something like that. But like, or Michigan, or the history of Michigan. But it's just like, the grown-up thing to do in that situation is not to be like, bitch, stop texting me, you motherfucker, and not to be like, maybe we could work it out, or I'm so sorry I hurt you.
Yeah, let's get coffee at some point.
Totally. It's just to be like
people-pleasing or something.
Above the fray. It reminds me of when people want to write their partner to tell them they don't want to talk to them anymore. I'm just like, wouldn't not talking to them send a clearer message than talking to them to tell them you don't want to talk to them? It's a no.
Great point, mate.
Thank you, mate.
No, both of the mates I 100% agree with, and that's why I have been doing this for the past 3.5 years. Like, I haven't been saying I don't want to talk to you. I just don't respond.
Right.
But
it isn't ending.
I also don't I don't. The reason I cut off was like I don't like how I feel when I see that. Like, she most recently sent me a message on Instagram from her art profile. And then when I went and I wouldn't open it because I didn't want her to see that I read it, because I didn't want her to get even that engagement. And then when I went back to show a friend, she had like unsent the message. And there's a part of me that's like, is this just going to be my life for the next 10 years?
You know what? They'll stop.
I do think they'll stop.
I had someone like that. Now I'm remembering.
Yep.
And, it was like, it was more constant, and then it would slow down. This is from like 25 years ago. And I would say once every 2 years, he like texts me something and I just ignore it. Because I know that this person was, he's not like dangerous, but he was like unhealthy for me at the time. He always needed something. And I don't really want someone. And he was like, had this like sexual thing, trying to always have sex. So it's like, I don't want that person around me. So I just ignore him. And, now it's like I said, once every 2 years or something. Like, they still can like dip their foot in, but you just don't want to give him anything, I don't think. Yeah. And if I see him on the street, I'd be really nice. And I don't think he'd say, did you get my text?
To your point, what gets you what you want? Do you think that writing the message, hey, you're really making me uncomfortable with these messages, please stop contacting me, do you think that's going to get her to stop contacting you?
I would do that to this guy if he did it more.
Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong.
But she's not annoying, Ari. She's like every 6 months. I mean, you can handle that.
But it sends you kind of reeling into an emotional space, kind of?
Well, it's also like, on the one hand, my instinct is exactly this. Like, really, I don't have time for this bullshit. And also, like, this was like, I get over it. It's been longer. We've all moved on the one hand. On the other hand, I think, and I know this is like the other voice talking, and I think, and if I like ask my friends, they're split like 75-25, 75% say cut it. But there's a 25% contingent that's like, listen, she never got closure, and she's the kind of person who like is still hung up on you. And is it more compassionate to have that conversation in person and say, hey, this needs to stop, but give her the closure? Hate it.
I hate this idea that any human being on earth is responsible to give someone else closure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are we all babies? I mean, are you incapable of getting closure on your own?
That's hilarious to think like someone hasn't texted you back in 3 years and you're like, I need to hear it from you.
I need to know
the
that
closure.
it's really over. Yeah. It's like she hasn't talked to you in 3 years. What if you died? God forbid. What if you died in a parachuting accident? Would she never get closure and just never be able to love again? That's so ridiculous. You don't get closure because someone gives it to you. You get closure because you realize what's happening and you work on yourself. It is not other people's job to give you closure, I don't think. Is it your job as a person in a relationship to be compassionate when you break something off? Yeah. Did you do that? Who knows? It sounds like maybe you didn't do it exactly the way you want to.
Me neither, but you grow up.
You grow up. Is it your job to then leap back into the past and reopen this thing and go, here's your closure? Not unless you, Ari, feel, this is my feeling, unless if you, Ari, feel uneasy about the way you ended things and you ethically feel that you owe her an apology or you have things you need to say to her, yes, that is a legitimate reason to contact someone because you have this sneaking guilt. I know you live in Israel where guilt is the national pastime, but not enough of it. But if you think you feel bad that she might be all fucked up because of you, guilt is not to me a good motivation to do anything.
Yeah, I don't know if I feel bad about how I ended things or I don't know if I'm avoiding or if I'm intentionally
don't overthink it, truly. And if you see them in person, be nice, try to wish them well, smile, keep it short. So good to see you. Nice to see you. You know, oh, I got to go. I'm with my girlfriend. I'm with my boyfriend. Oh, I got to go. Hey, great to see you. And maybe it'll be awkward, but they're not. Yeah.
How did you end it? Did you say, I can't talk to you anymore?
Yeah, it was like I got a letter. She had texted one of my close friends that she knew, who then texted my brother to get my parents' address because I was at my parents' house before I was moving to Michigan. And I got a letter in like a DHL package that was like typewritten on a typewriter. Oh. It was just emo. Like, do you know what I mean? So and it was just like a whole thing of, and if, you know, and I believe in open relationships and I don't care that you're in, and this is after she like broke my heart 3 times and like, she's put me through enough.
But wait,
like,
what did you say? Did you say in the end, I can't talk to you anymore?
I said, this is too much for me. I can't do this right now. And I think I left it as a right now. Can't do this. And we'll circle back. And that right now has turned to like, yeah.
I think you're good.
You're good. Find someone else. Be nice to her, and you're welcome.
And the truth is, she will find someone else and start doing this to her, and eventually she will stop contacting you. I really do think that that's true. I don't think there's any hope in going back in because that's a jungle.
Well, good luck, Ari.
Thank you, guys. I wanted to say, Moshe, that I have a David, your brother, connection because the fellowship that I just did, he used to be the rabbi for it.
Oh, really?
And so I just throw that out there.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, listen, Chag Sameach, and may this be a sweet new year. And
Shana Tova.
You're in the right spiritual zone right before Rosh Hashanah to be thinking about the people you may have hurt. And I think that
but don't reach out to her.
Yeah, sometimes it's more hurtful to reach out to the person than it is to just keep it moving. That's what I say. Perfect. Keep it moving.
I hope you learn how to blow the shofar, Moshe.
Amen. All I want to learn how to do is wear colored sunglasses indoors with my wife.
Amazing. Wait, I'm into that. Thank you guys so much for confirming what I already knew. I really appreciate it.
We appreciate you too.
Honey.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
I had a girl that used to write me every year. And it was just like, why are you still writing? It was so bizarre. And then she got into a relationship with someone else. And I can only imagine they've broken up and she writes that person every year.
I bet you, I could see men doing that. Like when they turn like 39, they're like, who should I have married? And they just start scrolling.
But that's different.
Scrolling through.
No, that's a different phenomenon. We're talking about somebody that just won't let go of a relationship because they're fiddling with some fantasy in their mind about the way things could have been if things had only gone a little different. And
idle time. They have too much idle time.
And yeah. All right. Should we do another call, Tosh?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I say we call Rachel. We got an Ari. We got a Rachel. It's really Jew night here on the Endless Honeymoon podcast.
Rachel in Portland.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Tosh.
Yeah, Moshe.
You know what you seem like you need?
What?
Antipsychotics. No, that's not true. But I recently found out that I need potassium and vitamin D.
Yeah, I learned that as well. I need vitamin D. My potassium levels are pretty great. But I did need vitamin D, and it's because we took an at-home lab test called Everlywell.
Yeah, basically they send you this test. You send it in and they tell you what your levels are and if you need different kind of vitamins, if you're vitamin deficient. And then on top of that, they'll send you those vitamins. Vitamin D, omega-3 fish oils, potassium like mine. They ship products straight to you with everything you need in one package.
A change of season means longer days, better outdoor activities, and more ways to get healthier, including checking in on your health and wellness. With Everlywell, you can take action today by taking one of their at-home lab tests or by adding their vitamins and supplements into your daily routine, like we did.
Basically, all you do is take the at-home lab test, collect your sample, and use the included prepaid shipping label to mail it back to a certified lab. Then your physician-reviewed results get sent to your phone or device in just 3 days, and you can order all the vitamins and supplements that they recommend if you so desire.
And you know what I love? You can share the results with your primary care physician to help guide you in the next step. So you don't have to go drive across town, wait for the blood results to come back, drive back to go talk to them again. You can just get it all from home because maybe there's nothing wrong with you.
For listeners of this show, Everlywell is offering a special discount of 20% off an in-home test at everlywell.com/honeymoon.
That's everlywell.com/honeymoon for 20% off your next at-home lab test.
everlywell.com/honeymoon. Rachel.
Hello.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Have Sameach.
Yeah.
Wait, is every Rachel Jewish?
No, but most Rachels
Is
are.
Rachel from Friends Jewish?
No, I don't think so. That's a famous
No, she
actress.
said she is.
She is?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
she's
am.
Jewish. No, we know you are. We're talking Rachel from Friends now.
Oh.
The character is Jewish, but
I just didn't realize Rachels across the board were Jewish.
Rachel's a strong Jew name.
It's a very common name, though.
But it's a Jewish name. Not every Rachel is Jewish, but every Jewish is Rachel. You know what I'm saying? All right. Rachel, what's up? How can we help?
Yeah, so I have been with my boyfriend for about 6 months, actually 6 months yesterday.
Mazal tov.
And thank you. And I said, I love you about 3 months in, knowing that like it would take me a little while.
Hate this.
And he still hasn't said it to me, and it's been 6 months. And so I'm wondering, like,
How many times have you said it again?
I say it a lot. Like,
You do?
we talked about it, and like whenever I say it, he has to say something sweet back to me because he's not going to say it back to me yet.
I think this one is one of those calls that is emotionally complicated but practically incredibly simple to me.
Please tell me what the answer is.
The answer, unfortunately, Rachel,
Is to stop saying it.
well, no, that's more manipulative because that's you. I mean, it's true for you. You love this guy. It's true. So to stop
And he's
saying
like,
it,
your hair looks nice tonight. Get me out of there. I would break up with him. I've never said I love you first, though, because I don't think I could handle that.
Well, it's too late, right, Rachel? The cat.
I admire you.
The cat is out of the
It's
bag.
like 3 months too late. Yeah.
Yeah, but here's what really I think needs to happen. Tell me if you disagree, Natasha. I'm curious. You're gonna have to have an uncomfortable conversation where you say, it's been 3 months.
No, really?
What?
She's going to have to like pin him down?
I think
Just don't say it again until he says it back.
that is a game. Okay, we're gonna disagree on this. Why? Why, Natasha?
Because she's put herself out there. Now it's like all she can do is like pressure him, and he's going to want out of the relationship.
Well, then great. If he doesn't love you, do you want to be with him if he doesn't love you?
No.
No. You got to say no. Because you look to the side in the way that FBI profiles look for when people are lying. You got to be like, no. Because if he doesn't love you, wouldn't you like to know that so you can cut and move? Even though it'll hurt, wouldn't you like to know that so you can get the fuck out of there?
Well, like, I think he does, and he's like afraid of saying it.
Sure. But wouldn't you like to know if your suspicions are true?
Yeah.
Rather
Like,
than just assuming the best of him and experiencing the worst?
Like, I'm wondering, like, at what point is it like too much time where I say like no?
I think. Oh, go ahead, Natasha. What do you think?
I am like stumped.
I'm not stumped. I think
because I feel like there is something you could do, but you're right. It would be a manipulation.
You're not trying to get him to say I love you.
He just needs to get over this hump. He just needs to declare it.
Here's what I think.
But her pressuring him is not going to do it.
It's not pressure. It's a conversation.
Listen, it's been about 3.5 months, and I think that you're going to have to tell me that you love me too.
Why does she have a southern
I don't
accent?
know. I'm just saying it just sounds like dorky or something.
Well, it is dorky.
You're trying to like create mystique and make a man fall in love
you're
with
not
you.
trying to. No.
Or at least express that he loves you.
You're not trying to create mystique and make a man fall in love with you. It's 6 months you've been dating. He's your boyfriend?
She wants him to love her back. How's that?
And you've been exclusive for 6 months.
Right.
There are two possibilities at this point. 6 months, plenty of time for him to know if he's in love with you or not. Okay?
Really? Why?
6 months?
I don't know. I mean, who's to say how long it takes to know how that you're in love with someone? It's so elusive.
Me. And I just said it. 6 months. Okay?
You want his like reasoning?
Yeah, yes. But let me give you my possible truths before you give me his reason.
Okay.
I can't think of a third option. One, he loves you and he's too scared to say it. And there's a million reasons. He's emotionally stunted. He's never said it before. He's scared of whatever. That's one. Two, he doesn't feel that way about you. He doesn't have that feeling for you. Those are the two.
But he likes you and he wants to
obviously.
hang out with you.
Those are the two possibilities. Is there a third?
No, but I want to know what is his reasoning because that might
Yes, please.
change what you think.
It's like mostly the first, but so we've had conversations about it where I've said, hey, this like is weird to me. And he's sort of given me two reasons. One is he said it before and he's been wrong, which I disagree with. Like, I don't think he can be wrong. It just like doesn't work out.
He thought he was in love with his last person and he was wrong. Okay. And then why else?
He doesn't want to say it unless he would think it forever. And despite what would happen, like if we break up, he wants to be in love forever.
He sounds kind of stupid.
Well, immature, I would say. I would say he sounds this is like extremely.
No, I'm just teasing you, Rafael.
Rafael, yeah.
But honestly, like that's just like a guy who's thinking too much and like giving excuses. And it's like, what? He's not going to say I love you again unless it's forever. I mean, what does that even mean? Does that mean that he wants to know that you're going to be the one to marry him?
Maybe. I don't. We've barely been together for too long. Like that's terrifying.
Okay, I have an idea. You don't have to say it to him anymore. What if she says to him, listen, it's been 6 months. I've told you I love you. I'm not going to say it anymore. And just know I'm here and receptive if you're feeling it. Why?
Well, I hear
you hate that?
No, I hear why you're saying it. And I get where you're coming from, Natasha. And it's actually a good suggestion. But the problem with it for me is that it's all a weird manipulation to try to like lasso this man into like growing up.
No, I just don't want her to further humiliate herself and like they're having sex. She's like, I love you. And he's like, oh, like your arms look nice today. Is it arm day? He's got to give her a compliment. I mean, what?
My bigger problem with this whole thing is what you're describing. The things that you're describing, this whole like, I've been wrong before, or I don't want to say I love you until I know it's true forever. These are the ramblings of a child. This is like a person that's watched Prince Charming. Like they watch like Snow White on Disney Plus and then go, that's what love is, I guess. Like there's
And maybe he wasn't wrong before. Maybe he loved her in the moment, but then it changed. And I mean, I've said I love you to probably like 10 people.
How old is this person?
He's 27.
And how old are you?
24.
24. I mean, do you agree with me that
27's kind of old to have a take this dumb.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever. I'm not saying it's dumb.
I know you want to defend him. It is dumb. It's ridiculous.
But if he's like, I can't love someone.
No, I know you love him. Obviously, I know you love him. Everybody in the Pacific Northwest knows you love him. But but this is the things he's saying to you. I don't know if they feel like they make sense because of the relationship you're in. They do not make sense. They are not good reasons to say I don't want to tell you I love you.
So that's why I like my idea, because it's not about that anymore. It's just up to because the same reason you want a guy before a guy asks you to marry him, you kind of have to let him know you'll say yes so they don't get embarrassed, I think. Or that's one way to do it. Just let them know.
Okay.
So it's like in the same sense, she's letting him know again. When's the last time you told him?
Honestly, like not recently, because I've been like very like, is this right for me? Like maybe in the last week or so, but not a lot.
Uh-huh.
And what did he say when you said it back the most recent time? Do you remember?
He usually says like, you're really sweet. You're very funny.
You got to get out. You have to.
I told you.
Rachel,
she's humiliated. She's degrading herself.
This is not.
You're really great.
This is okay. Now I got two more possibilities. Okay, I have two more possibilities for you. You are either in a relationship with a man who does not love you, or is incapable of expressing their emotions in any kind of an adult way. Both of those are not perfect. Would you say?
So I have a theory too.
Oh yeah, please.
I think a lot of it is like, well, one, he was single for a while before me, like college was the last relationship. And so I think like he's afraid of saying I love you because he doesn't really love himself. And I super love myself. And I think it's like hard for him to go against that. I don't know. Like that's what's in my brain.
I'm not saying your theory is incorrect. What I'm saying is this idea that it is this foundational, earth-shattering, like unbelievable emotional shift if you say the words "I love you" is the ramblings of a little goo goo gaga. Like that's not real. It doesn't do. What does it do?
How many girls have you said "I love you" to, Moshe?
I have said "I love you" to very few women, and I was very immature when it came to emotional honesty and emotional connection with women. I was extremely stunted. So this is why I can identify this so well. I didn't quite have this like
rebuttal
bullshit logic where it's like, it's gotta mean, it's like, but I would never say it to a woman. I was very scared to say it to Natasha, very scared. Because it had all this weight to it. I'm not saying he got this idea that it has this power from nowhere. It's media tells you that, the movies tell you that. But in reality, like he either feels this way about you and doesn't want to say it, or doesn't feel this way about you and therefore is trying to fool you into not making him say it. So and I think to go even further, I think maybe this idea that you need him to say it. There is also maybe a slight immaturity. The bigger issue is not whether or not he's saying the words "I love you." The bigger issue is, does he love you, and is he capable of expressing his emotions in a way that isn't like weird robot, like Call of Duty emotion set? Like, because this whole thing, I need to know I'll love you forever. What is that? That doesn't mean anything. What does that mean? How would he know that? What thing would occur where he's like, aha, and now I know I will love her forever?
I have a question for Rachel and for you, Moshe.
Yes.
Moshe, you're pretty woke. Rachel, you're pretty young. Why is my approach of manipulation in games bad?
I was about to come over to your side. I was.
I mean, I know it's like not cool to like try to manipulate someone into falling in love with you, but
will you accept an amendment?
But I'm just saying, it's like it gets to a point where it's like sometimes if you do just remove yourself from a situation, it's just what they need to figure out how they feel, and so it is a form of manipulation, but it's also a form of self-preservation, in my opinion.
Would you accept an amendment?
What?
Rachel, will you allow me to propose an amendment to her bill?
Because that's what I would do.
Because really, the truth is, you're the governing body here, and okay, I would allow for a thing where Rachel says, because I kind of hear what you're saying, to go to someone and go, I've been saying I love you for 3 months. You don't say it back to me. It doesn't feel very good. This is what I was going to suggest to you at first. It doesn't feel very good to me. And, I need to hear that kind of affirmation back. But, okay, no, and I'm saying now I realize there is something very good about that kind of honesty, but it's also kind of weird because you don't want the guy going like, okay, I love you, just in that moment to give you what you want. So I kind of like this Natasha thing. But my amendment would be, at what point, Rachel, would him not saying I love you make you realize you probably shouldn't be with this guy?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, we hit 6 months. I'm like, is this the point? I hope it's not. But like, I'm not waiting around for a year,
Great.
It
9
can
months.
take 9 months.
We found it. 9 months. 9 months.
Yeah.
9 months.
9 months is
so here's
fair.
my amendment. You have this conversation. Rachel, you go up to this guy. You say, What was it? Your language is so perfect. What'd you
I
say?
don't remember.
It was something like, I've been saying I love you for a long time, honey, but I'm gonna.
I just no. You don't be coy. You just say like, I want you to know it's all right. We've been together 6 months. I've told you I love you, and I do, and I'll just wait for you to say it back.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be over here not saying it.
And then don't tell him you're going to break up with him in 3 months, but you
At
can.
3 months.
Yeah.
At the 9-month mark.
Because you've told him you're accepting. So if he's
Yep.
afraid to do it, you've already let him know you're saying yes.
Yep.
You know, so it's like he can't be that scared.
You are being the opposite of pushy. You are being very
no one wants to be cornered.
I would say
It's
too
like the
chill.
opposite of romance.
And I'm kind of with you. You don't want to corner him. You're not going to corner him. You're being too, I would say maybe too chill, but not about the I love you. It's more about the like, does he love you? To me, that's the big issue. The big issue is not whether or not he's performing the sacred duty of saying I love you. The bigger issue is like, what's up with this guy emotionally? At 9 months, you will have a very clear picture that he is not emotionally capable of being in this relationship with you if he goes 3 months and never says it. And then you have another conversation with him and you say, it's been 9 months. I maybe said it too early, but this is a little too late. And I think maybe we need to go our separate ways. And then he'll probably be like, oh, no, I love you or whatever it is. But I think, how do you accept my bill, my
I like
amendment?
it. And just focus on the relationship for now, not on what you want him to say, and make sure it's moving, like relationships, what do they say? They're like fish. If they're not moving forward, they're dead.
Yeah.
So it's like you want to be, as long as you guys are moving forward and having fun and it's like healthy and feeling fun and good, then keep at it. But, I wouldn't want to wait more than 9 months for that. Especially if you're saying it first.
I have a big thought here. Once you do the Natasha and with Moshe amendment plan, you have changed the dynamic from you trying to get him to say I love you to you giving him the opportunity to say it if he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
like this open receptive thing.
Exactly.
And reminding him of that.
You don't want him to be broken down into going, okay, I love you. You want him to go to have you, and you're giving him 3 full months to ponder his feelings for you.
But don't tell him that.
Yeah, don't tell him that. And to go, you know what? I love her and I'm going to tell her. And then if you don't get that in 9 months, this is not the guy for you. You got to get out of there.
And in getting out, maybe it'll develop. I definitely know people who were just like removed themselves and then it ended up working out and they're really happy. So that's why I'm always on the fence about being somewhat coy and manipulative.
No, I like this because we're doing the best of both worlds.
Okay.
You're going to do the coy thing. You're going to wait 3 months, and you're not, as Natasha said, going to be counting the days between counting down when he's going to say I love you. You're just going to experience the relationship, and then at 9 months, you're going to say this is a line that I'm not willing to accept anymore. So I'm going to just move on. And that I know a lot of people that are in relationships with people that are bad, and they go, I'd rather be in a bad relationship than no relationship. That's not true. You deserve to be with somebody that loves you back.
Well, he's coming over tonight because I told him I think we need to talk and just like check in with where we're at, and like, cause we do that like once a month. And I wasn't sure, like, Natasha, I liked your idea of like sort of taking space and like seeing how he reacts to that. Like, it's not as a game, but like I'm not a given, So I kind of want to
say that, or are you gonna do it?
Well, I kind of want to ask for like maybe some space and just be like, evaluate where we are.
Damn, see, that's not how I would do it. I would be very nice in words, but not in action. So I'd be like, oh, yes, well, I just want you to know I love you. And I just so you know, I love you. And if I'm always here for you, and then you hang out that night, and then he calls you tomorrow, the next day he wants to hang out. You're like, I'd love to, but I'm busy.
Wait.
And then he calls you again, and you're like, oh, I'd love to, but I'm busy.
This is a new amendment.
If she's going to be like, it's over. Or we need space. I don't like that talk. I'm sorry.
Which talk? It's your talk.
No, I don't like the talk. She's saying something different.
Okay.
She's saying she wants to talk to him tonight about maybe they need space.
Because he hasn't said I love you.
Well, he's coming over tonight regardless, and I don't really know what to say to him because I have a lot of feelings, and I don't want to pressure him and be like, you have to say I love you.
No, just enjoy the evening. Just have fun tonight.
But wait, you are giving her conflicting advice. You're saying to tell him she's going to stop saying I love you and then wait 3 months, right?
Well, I was picturing it more like when they're having sex or something.
While they're having
or
sex?
like when
Terrible
they're intimate.
advice. Terrible
no, when
advice.
let's say you guys are intimate the next time you want to say I love you to him. Like make it light. Like I wasn't suggesting to make it a heavy conversation that he has to come over tonight to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
This is already feeling like if you're at that level, I don't know if my tactic's going to work.
Well, I know the feeling
But I don't think anyone wants you to have them come over and tell, because it's not true. You're going to want to see him tomorrow. You're in love with him. I don't know.
Well, he's already coming over tonight for a heavy conversation. I just don't know what the conversation is going to be about.
Well, what does your instinct say to tell him?
Why does it have to be a heavy conversation?
Well, because we do monthly, like we call them like formal check-ins where we're like, how is the relationship? What's working for you? What's not working for you?
Oh,
like
well,
just
if
to make sure.
if you've already set that precedent, that's great. That sounds very healthy.
But I'm not really understanding the part where you want space. That space desire feels like a manipulation. Like I'm going to withdraw from you and show you what you're missing, and hopefully that will.
Telling him that you're doing that is a disaster.
Hopefully that will get you to say the words that I want you to say. Whereas I feel like Natasha's suggestion or mine in 3 months is very emotionally actually honest. It doesn't feel honest to pull yourself away from this guy even though you want to be around him because you're hoping to affect some specific emotional change in him. But instead saying, I've said that I love you. It would mean a lot to me to hear it back. You're not ready to do that. I'm going to just be chilling, and I'm not going to say it to you. I'm going to give you the opportunity to say it back to me. I'm going to withhold that for now.
That's good, and it doesn't have to
honest.
it doesn't have to be the first thing she says either.
Absolutely.
You guys can have a conversation. You can just say like, I just wanted to like, I don't know. I mean, are you lying? You guys really once a month in a new relationship get together to talk about your relationship? I've never heard of that before.
It's because I'm extremely anal, and when we like got together, I said I would agree to 1 month, and then we have to like renegotiate. So we just kept it going.
I mean, it is pretty crazy that you guys are emotionally open enough to have a monthly where are we at in the relationship check-in, but he's too scared to say I love you.
Right.
Have you asked
that's
him?
confusing to me.
What does he say when you say how do you feel about me?
He says like I care about you a lot, and like you're really important to me, and like you add to my life, like really nice things that in my mind like would point more towards like, yeah, he probably loves me. But like I've asked him like, what does love mean to you? And he can't answer that question.
I think you need to.
I feel like you're cornering him all the time.
I feel like you're cornering him all the time. I agree. But I also think you need to corner yourself and face the possibility, and this is going to hurt because I feel like at any given point you could start crying here, and I don't want that to happen.
That's true all the time.
Okay, good. Then we're not pushing you further than you want to go. Good. I feel like you should also negotiate the possibility that the real issue is that he's not in love with you, and he's just not there. And that's okay. He's not responsible to love you.
But if the relationship is super strong and it has potential and keeps moving forward, maybe he'll get there.
3
That's
more
why
months.
I think, so it's like, is there a way to lighten it a little bit for tonight? It's like, you're basically like, it's our 6-month anniversary and I'm having him over tonight for a little chat by the fire as to why he doesn't love me
It's
yet.
a love it or leave it conversation.
It's too much,
I
think.
agree with Natasha.
And you said it so early, you said it 3 months in. Do you really know if you love someone in 3 months? I don't know. Maybe you do. But, I just feel like you did that. I wouldn't have done that. But I mean, I appreciate the honesty. I actually admire it. I feel like I'm a pussy and a coward.
There's some space between Natasha manipulate at all costs, stay aloof to stay alive, and your, hey motherfucker, you better love me or get the fuck out, I'll bite your head off. There's got to be somewhere in the middle, right? Which is like lightening this thing, taking the emotional expectations way down, but also not being dishonest and just saying to him like, I said I love you, I still feel that way, but I'm going to stop saying that because it doesn't feel that good to say it and not have it returned, and I'm going to just wait and see if that becomes true for you. And then at 3 months, at your 9-month check-in, you have remember this podcast where you said, I'm not sticking around a year. And if he hasn't said it at that point, you check in with him and you just say, I waited 3 months and I haven't heard it from you and I'm not sure you even feel it. So I think we need to go our separate ways. It's easy.
And one more thing for tonight, you should text him right now and be like, hey, is there a movie or food that you want? And just try to make it like kind of
light,
a fun date
Well,
too.
I like this idea.
Like, hey, I just getting, and what if he's like, I thought we were going to talk about our relationship. You can be like, oh yeah, I mean, sure, whatever. Yeah, I just want to make sure we have something fun to do too. Or,
I love this.
That's the spirit of it.
I think Natasha's so onto something. Like, but put a little levity into it. I always say this about relationships. Our producer telling us, like lightness,
levity.
Fun.
Levity is heaviness.
No, levity is the opposite of heaviness. It's levity.
Levity means light.
Yeah, it sure does, honey.
Can we cut this out? Just
Nope,
kidding. You can
it's
keep it. You
staying
can
there.
keep it. You can keep it.
No, but I always say this to people asking for relationship advice, and because I believe it so strongly. If a relationship should not be majority conversations about the state of your relationship. That's not a
Amen.
relationship. That's a long-term therapy session. A relationship should be mostly having fun in the relationship and once in a while having a chat about where we're really at. If the percentages are off and mostly what you do is process what's fucked up about your relationship, something's wrong.
Hey, did you see the Theranos documentary, The Dropout?
Mm-mm.
It's really good. You should
There you
text
go.
him right now. It's about Elizabeth Holmes. It's
I want to watch it.
just be like, hey, and Amanda, whatever her name is, just won the.
Seifried.
She just won the Emmy, and so I watched it. But it was really
Sifrid?
good and very watchable. Like, think of something like that to text him
Or-
and get his
ooh.
favorite food and have a fun date, and also tell him this thing.
If you want to lighten things a bit and don't want to do
And
the
have more
dropout,
levity.
say, hey, Ken Burns just dropped a brand new Holocaust documentary. Maybe we can get together. It's 4 2.5 hour episodes. Let's watch it in its entirety tonight.
Yeah, that sounds very light and good.
All right, good luck to you.
Meet me in
Thank
the middle.
you.
Meet me in the middle.
That's
Okay.
exactly right. Meet Natasha in the middle. You lighter, you more honest. There we go.
Okay.
Me perfect.
Sound good.
Tipping 15 to 20% depending on the service.
Good luck,
okay,
Rachel.
Bye, Rachel.
Thank you.
That was a really hard one when she said it. That's why I'm just like not trying to say that to a man first.
But
ever,
I
or a woman.
respect what she's up to.
Oh, but
which
then what do
is-
two women do? Someone's got to say it.
they don't live in a reductive binary where your genitalia.
But that's where I live.
I know. Meet me in the middle. I think that is a tough one, but you were so right and so wise, because even my thing, because I'm a big person who's like always just say the thing that you're thinking, right?
That doesn't work in
Oh,
romance.
it does work in romance. And I disagree with you that manipulation always works in romance.
I don't think it always works.
Or,
It's
or even
definitely
works.
a good
Or
default.
even works. I feel like anytime you're attempting to look at a person and act a certain dishonest way in order to net some very specific outcome, it'll always backfire because you can't predict people's behavior. But what I think was right about you is the honest conversation, which is I need you to say that to me in order for me to feel like you're really in this, is also a pressure. And like you never want to pressure somebody into feeling a certain way or saying a certain thing. So I like your thing. Keep it light.
Okay, I have a question though. When you first met me and you were really, really into me, why didn't you just tell me, listen, I'm like so into you. I think I could marry you. I just want to
I didn't know.
fuck you all the time.
I didn't know that.
No, I'm sure at some point you felt that, but instead you just were like busy and doing podcasts
No.
and not calling me back.
No, not calling you back. I always called you back.
I'm just saying.
I did not manipulate you. That wasn't part of what I did with you. I don't believe in that.
I'm not saying I manipulated
Or, like,
you
do a
either.
weird game
but
where
I
I
would
stayed
hang out
coy.
with my friends and try to not hang out with you all the time.
Right,
and drop everything to be with you, even though that's what I probably wanted to do.
Thank you. Thanks for admitting that.
Just saying.
Speaking of things that you want to do, if you would like to leave a secret on our secrets hotline, give us a call at 213-222-8608.
You had too many twos there.
No, I didn't.
Oh, sorry.
That was a perfect amount of twos.
I'm so critical.
Eyes on your own too, man. Don't
Okay.
two-splain me.
And also, if it's not a secret and something you would like to actually call in and talk to us about, email us what it is at endlesshoneymoonpod@gmail.com.
We, of course, have a Patreon, and we would love for you to join. For just $5 a month, you can be a part of our very special community. You can get all kinds of gifts, ad-free episodes.
People
you
have
can
just
become part
gotten
of our
our
Discord.
records, and they're very excited about that. We
It's
have
awesome.
artwork coming. We have another dinner party that we have to get on
You
the
got to
books.
get involved. Get
Not
involved.
to mention Moshe's DJ set, which I've been very surprised at all the comments. People say that you're really good. Wait,
Thank
can
you.
I read the one that we just got?
You, by all means.
Hold on one second.
By all means. this is a moment for all of us to kind of recognize that just because somebody's good at one thing doesn't mean they're not actually really skilled at another thing. And despite the fact that I would say an A+ podcaster, I also happen to be not that bad of a DJ.
Wait, hold on.
Read it.
Oh, wait. Here's one that someone sent that I thought was really cute that Moshe, you would like. All right. So this person writes in, who here listened to the DJ mix? This is incredibly polished stuff, and the whole thing bangs. Plus, it's a pretty eclectic mix of genres, from house to acid to dubstep! ! As a long-time fan of EDM, I'm really impressed.
This person's not wrong.
Actually, this is too good of a review.
I just got to say it's not wrong.
It's kind of like giving you
it's pretty spot on.
Just the encouragement you need to do it more.
Well, I'm going to do it more regardless. But you
right.
know what the good news is? I'm not like that other guy. Natasha,
Yeah.
I think you have great arms. I need to know that when I love you, I will mean forever.
If I fall in love, it'll be forever.
What if I say I love you and then I discover that I was wrong, that I didn't? No, that's not how it goes. No, it goes. I believe when I fall in love with your arms, it will be forever. Goodbye, everyone.
Okay, I love you too.